All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Errol Spence Jr., his eye injury, and the fact that it is now backed up. His claims are backed up by the WBC, so all of this eye gate stuff, I'm sure, will calm down. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Before I get into the meat of the video, please make sure if you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Also like the channel, like the video, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. Goes a long way towards helping grow the channel. So this video is going to be a little bit of fun. I get to rib a little bit because the WBC has cleared Errol Spence Jr. in this eye scandal that has popped up, by saying that they received his paperwork, everything is in order, so consequently everybody should be leaving alone Errol Spence Jr. and stop coming up with all of these wild accusations about him, about the reasons why he pulled out of the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Now, the reason why all of this stuff is stirred up is because obviously he pulled out of a major fight, but that was supposed to be for his WBC and IBF titles. And he did it because he said that he has a torn retina. Now, a torn retina is basically the lining in the back of your eye that allows you, part of the, the construct that allows you to see. So Errol Spence Jr. had a torn retina that was discovered in a pre-fight physical by a doctor, and he was declared not fit to fight. So what do people do? They do what they usually do when they're looking for a reason to tear down a fighter. They come up with a bunch of reasons to, about why he did it. In this case, it pretty much all rolled around that Errol Spence Jr. was going to be losing the fight to Manny Pacquiao. And instead of being a man and fighting and, defending his belts, he decided to take the chicken's way out, which is to fake an injury and run away. Now, I can understand why people might doubt something I can understand why people would think that something was a little funny about the announcement, but now that the WBC has cleared it up, I'm quite sure that everybody now is going to sit at home and be 100% happy with the fact that the WBC, the World Boxing Council, has said that all of the paperwork looked in order to them, and I'm sure that the issue is going to die now, right? Of course not. But I like to point out a little bit of hypocrisy here, because usually when the it depends on, which side of the fence you're on the subject, whether or not the WBC or any sanctioning body is really, their word should be taken. So take, for example, the issue with Deontay Wilder's gloves. Now, Deontay Wilder's gloves situation was this. Tyson Fury and he had fought, for two fights for the WBC heavyweight championship of the world. And then after the second fight, there began this basically a bunch of videos and a bunch of people talking about how Tyson Fury's gloves didn't look right in the first fight or in the second fight, right? In the first fight, the glove was flopping all towards the side. It looked like Tyson Fury's hands were in the, looks like his hand is down in the lower part of the glove and he's knuckling or basically hitting Deontay Wilder with his knuckles, right? And in the second fight, it looked like basically like the hand wraps, like his gloves, like you could see all the way through to the end, to where his knuckles were forming in his gloves, and it was shown on several pictures. But the WBC said, "Oh no, we inspected everybody inspected the gloves, everything was fine, nothing to see here, let it go," right? So and I don't think it's coincidental that a lot of the people that are now, that will, I suppose, be blowing off what the WBC has to say about this eye injury, were the ones saying, hey, well, the WBC and the sanctioning bodies and all this stuff, they've already they cleared them, so there couldn't possibly be any cheating, right? There couldn't be any type of issue. So I guess the same thing should go here. If there is no, if the WBC clears the paperwork, says that, yeah, that looked good to me, then I guess that means everything's fine and everybody's going to leave it alone. But no, most likely what's going to happen is that the naysayers or the people that want to believe that Errol Spence Jr. did something that was, cowardice, is just going to basically call out corruption on the WBC, right? And say, oh, the WBC is a corrupt organization. Well, my thing is it under what situation is the WBC corrupt? Is it corrupt when you want it to be corrupt, and it's not corrupt when it says something that you agree with? Similar to like the issues with judges. The issues with judges being that when there's a score, like, or cheating in Las Vegas, that's a better example, that there can't be any cheating in Las Vegas because the gloves are being watched and there's all this, great security around around boxing matches in Nevada. But on a regular basis, you find boxing judges being accused of corruption, right? So you can't have it both ways, right? You can't say that they're the angel when they agree with you, and they're the devil, and they're the devil when they don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want all that. I'm just saying because, I wanted to point out the hypocrisy that goes on within that situation. However, I do want to say that I can understand why some people might have had an issue and felt funny about the announcement related to Errol Spence Jr. and his eye injury, because the timing of it seemed to be kind of funny to me, that they both announced the eye injury itself and the fact that Yordenis Ugas was going to be replacing Errol Spence Jr. at the same time. It would seem that what's the likelihood of both of those happening at the same time? What it seems to me is that probably Errol Spence Jr.'s eye injury might have been discovered a day before, 2 days before, and then they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with the card, so they kept the announcement, the public announcement of what was going on, probably kept that at bay for a little while, and then let it out once they knew what their disaster recovery plan was going to be. And in this case, the disaster recovery plan was going to be Yordenis Ugas. So I think that all in all, this is just another good example of how somebody can be the greatest in the world when they agree with you, and when they don't agree with you, they're just full of it, and the WBC is not, is in a tough situation, and these sanctioning bodies are in a tough situation. So, but for the first time in a while, I want to say, hey, thank you to the WBC for clearing that up, because I personally don't see what interest it is of Errol Spence Jr. to fake an injury to his eye in order to get out of a fight that was going to pay him a ton of money and that he still says that he wants to have. But anyway, that's my take on the circumstance. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.